Happy Thursday, my fabbies. I did do an intro today because today I just want to share something that is very depressing for me to talk about. And what I want to talk about today is the time in my life when I decided to close out society and just stay at home and not be a part of it because I was so ashamed of being overweight. Now, it is weigh in Thursday, so if you want to stick around to the end of this video, I will let you know if I lost any weight. But first, let's talk about something that doesn't make us all comfortable to talk about. And that's the time for me when I decided I don't fit in society anymore because I have gotten too fat. And I'm going to share some of my experiences with you of what made me decide that. So, first off, let's talk about how I feel and how I felt, and I'm sure how a lot of you feel when you start gaining weight. You start becoming more tired. You don't feel as put together anymore. Things are tight. You start wearing things that are unflattering and things that don't make you feel good. And that started to happen to me. Now, again, if you remember back in the video that I did about how I gained weight, I didn't put on all of this weight until I moved out to Wyoming, which again is the recreational capital of the world, where everybody's fit, everybody is outdoorsy, everybody loves to hike and ski and water raft and all that other stuff. Well, I'm kind of an indoorsy type of gal. So instead of losing weight, which you would think I would have, I gained weight, and I gained a lot. I also believe I went into a depression at that time too because I had moved away from my family and friends of over 30 years. So that didn't help matters either. But with the weight gain, it just made me more depressed, and there you have it. Now, with the job that I had when I moved out here, and again, a lot of you ask me what I do for a living. I'm actually a speech language pathologist by trade. So when I moved out here, I was a speech therapist. So with that job meant a lot of travel, and I actually was scheduled to go to a national conference in Chicago. And I was a little nervous about it because I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm out of shape. There's going to be a lot of walking. I don't know if I can do this, but I had to do it because I needed the training. So I went to Chicago. I got on the plane. It was, I got on in the seat and I was able to buckle the seatbelt at that time. And that was fine. So it made me a little bit more confident. I went to Chicago, had a great time, saw a lot of Broadway shows. It was fantastic, learned a lot. And then it was time to come back. And I was feeling so good about the information I had. I was proud of myself that I got my fat ass on a plane and I was going to go home and I was going to be, rejuvenated and change my life. And that's what I was going to do. Now, with that being said, on the way back, I got on a smaller plane to get home. And I sat down, tried to put the seatbelt on, and guess what? It didn't fit. At the time, I had never knew about seatbelt extenders because I'd never needed one before, never heard of one before. So I was embarrassed. So I covered myself up to make it look like I was wearing a seatbelt. Boy, was that a mistake. So when the flight was over, I get up and I am closer to the front. So I get up and I start moving forward. and there were a ton of people behind me. The whole plane was behind me, basically. And the flight attendant came up to me and very rudely and very loudly said to me, "Ma'am, if you can't fit into a seatbelt, you need to ask for an extender. So next time, you will have to do that." Now, I was absolutely humiliated. And this little flight attendant was probably in his early 20s, had no thought to my feeling or how insensitive that was. Because you know what? Everybody behind me heard what he had to say. And I believe most of them were mortified for me. But for me, it was bad. It was bad. And I remember coming back from the airport to my house where I was in tears and hyperventilating. And my coworker that was with me was trying to calm me down. And I just said, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't go anywhere. It's too embarrassing." And I did not have the self-esteem or the confidence that I have today. I was a lot younger back then. And it destroyed me. It destroyed me emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I was not in a good place when I came back. So I'm going to say for over 5 years of my life, all I did was go to work. And then I would come home. And then I would eat. And I feel better. And then when I was done eating, I didn't. And it became this cycle of, food makes me feel better, so I'm going to eat. And then I would feel good while I'm eating. And then the depression happens and you get bigger and you get bigger. And it got so bad that I couldn't even really get on a plane, even though I now am able to say I need a seatbelt extender. But if I was going down the path that I was going down, I wouldn't be traveling, period, anymore. I would have been homebound. I would have been the next person on my 600-pound life. I know that. And so I finally decided to pull my head out of my ass. And I have pulled my head out of my ass, I don't know how many times, because I would lose weight, then I would gain it, lose it, and gain it. But this time, my fabbies, I am doing it because I am worthy. And I finally figured that out. And there is not anybody in this world that can tell me any different. But I got to tell you, it was a long road to get to. And there's a lot of you that aren't there. So this message is for you. It's for you who are sitting at home afraid to get back into life. You deserve to get back into life. You deserve a life where you can feel comfortable going out. And we can't do anything about the assholes out there, unfortunately. I saw a post on Instagram that threw me into a rage where I probably did some inappropriate things. And I posted things that were just all emotions. And I realized I can't do that. I have to keep it together because I'm mad. But you know what? Things don't improve when you are in that state of mind. So I've refocused and I am on a mission. I am on a mission to show the world that people, no matter what you look like, are people. And it's not going to change. I know this happened throughout history. People as a whole want to look the same. But in my book, that's boring. I don't want to live in a world where everybody's white, where everybody's black, where everybody's yellow. We are a colorful, colorful world. And we need to embrace that because it makes us better as a human being. And regardless if we're bigger than another person, should not be the test that judges who we are. So if we can't change them, we need to change us. And that's where I'm saying every video on my YouTube channel, my Instagram channel basically states you've got to learn to love yourself. And I can't do that for you. You have to figure it out. But if you do, your whole life is going to change. One of my followers sent me a YouTube video of Susan Boyle. I think we all remember Susan Boyle. And what the audience was doing, mocking her because of what she looked like. And once she opened her mouth, wow, she changed a whole audience. And I am going to put that link and that video in the description box down below because it's a good reminder that you guys, we can't judge a book by its cover, but we're going to be judged. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to hold our head up high and say, you know what? I'm awesome. And let's show them how awesome you are. I'm trying every day to be a model for that because I know this is a big, big issue in our weight loss community because there's so many of us just watching from the sides and just wishing that they could be in the game doing what we're doing. But you know what? You can. You can. And you have to decide to do it. You have to take the chance to do it. And it's scary. It's scary to want to change because we're so used to that life. But you don't have to. I don't have to. And I'm not. And I'm back into the world. And you know what? I sure as shit missed it. So, who's with me? Who is with me to start changing the world? We can't change them, but we can change us. Who's with me? Are you with me? If you're with me, let me know. And let's shout from the mountaintops, I am worthy. I am awesome. I'm amazing. So thank you guys for joining me in this message. It's a message that I needed to do and I wanted to share it. And I do have a lot more stories that I could share. I think we all have stories that we can share. But I just, again, want to thank you all so much for joining me here, joining this team of strong, confident women that are not going to take it anymore. So you guys, I want you to have a great Thursday. I want you to have a great weekend. I want you to dig in deep and find that inner love. Again, find one thing you love about yourself. Just one. I know you can do that. So with that, you guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Okay, like promised, I just stepped on the scale. I didn't gain and I didn't lose. I am still at the same, and that is 289. So, 333 to 289, I'll take it.